Thom and I have a lot to unpack about episode 4, The Road to the Spear.
Hey everybody, thank you for coming and joining us again for our deep dives into season 3 of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. I'm so in love with season 3. Every season has gotten better and better, and this season is no different. But before we go into our deep dive, I have to thank our lovely viewers, all of you guys who are watching this right now, everyone who watches our lives. You guys are the reason we're doing this. I'm glad everyone is having a great time with season 3, and I can't wait to theorize with you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys leave in the comments. Please leave stuff in the comments. A really big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. There's going to be some big changes coming to our Patreons soon. The year is 2025 in March when I'm saying that, so we'll see how soon that comes, but it is coming soon. We are working on it. If you're not a Patreon supporter, consider going and checking it out. We will have a free tier when we do the switch, so at the very least you can see what our updates will be and get some of our reward tiers. And then obviously a huge shout out to our sponsors, Tor Books. Without Tor Books, none of this would be possible because they are the people who published The Wheel of Time. Thank you very much for all of the fantasy books that have come out, not just The Wheel of Time. There's been some amazing stuff, and we've even done a review or two on some of those books. So check those out also in our YouTube library. High level, before we get into the nitty gritty of picking everything apart, this episode was dense. There's a lot happening in this episode. The fact that this episode is really only taking place with one aspect, like usually we're all over the place. Like, we're seeing Perrin in the Two Rivers, and we're seeing Tar Valon with Nynaeve and Elaine, and maybe we're touching on the Aiel Waste, and then we go to the Forsaken in the basement of Tar Valon or whatever the hell they were. But this is just the Aiel Waste the whole time. We're just with, what is it? A dozen characters?
Yeah, I mean, so we see it from Rand's point of view, from Moiraine's point of view. And
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. But we went through thousands of years, and I lost track of how many visions that we saw. So I've just been taking notes. I haven't had to pause. I just scribble in my own crazy shorthand. I could not keep up with the number of turns. And I know that I'm missing things in here because this episode did not let up for a moment.
My jaw hit the floor in one particular scene in the flashbacks. One of the things, though, that Rafe said about this season was, we asked Yosha, how many characters are you going to play this season? And he said yes. It's true. He did. If you combine all of the characters that he's played in, say, Egwene's flashback, plus himself, plus Moiraine's visions in Rhuidean, plus his visions in Rhuidean, it's more crazy. Than 15 Rands. He plays more than 15 Rands.
Someone's gonna need to do a hard count. Honestly, the calmest scene of this entire episode is the very beginning. The most peaceful moment is the very, very first scene.
I wonder if this is a set or if this was just somewhere in Morocco or South Africa where they said they were filming, because this is really just a gorgeous spot. Even though it's a barren wasteland, it's still really cinematic in the way it's in all aspects.
I would say based on what we saw of the behind the scenes in the fan event, this is probably on location.
Yeah, just
I think
Rafe
wanted to put the actors into the world as much as he did us. And so, it's beautiful.
Yeah, just Moiraine sitting there watching them is nice. And this lone tree just, chilling. Oh, and I didn't even notice this. Now that we're zooming in, you could see their sword sheaths kind of sitting there, and maybe someone's coat or something over here. I like it.
I don't think I talked about it in the last episode. I really don't like Moiraine's hat. I have loved every bit of every costume in this series. It is the only thing that bugs me. It looks like she's going to go gardening.
Or fishing, with this little little thing here in it, reminds me of a fishing lure or something. It looks like a gardening hat or a fishing hat for sure. I totally
in general, I have no notes on the costumes, but that's one that I have. But you know what? It is very matronly, and I think that it fits. It's just a little out of place. Fair. But this is a sweet that was a sweet moment.
The interactions with specifically with Madeleine with the rest of them have been interesting. She seems very guarded.
She's standoffish. She's got separation for sure.
Where Bear seems way less so. Like she's much more, and it's a Bear Amis amalgam. We know that now for sure. Like, those two characters are put together here, but like she seems way more open and accepting of them, where Madeleine is very much like, and you can even tell just by the way the two of them look here. Like her shoulders are a little closed, where she seems like she's and her hands are in her lap crossed, where
she's looking down. She's not even looking at them. She's looking down.
And Bear is kind of sitting up straight with her shoulders back. Her hands are open and wide, like she's open, and just the way they're sitting, like, and the acting in that scene, and like I'm sure the direction they had for that is just
Well, and it's a really short scene, and we learned so much. Like we get Gaishan that are explained, and we get just like a little bit of more about Jaeto, and then we learn, is this the same scene where it's like, if Rand doesn't come, the Aiel would die, and if Moiraine doesn't come, Rand would die, but if Lan didn't come, Moiraine would die, and if Moiraine doesn't enter Rhuidean.
That's the scene. That is the scene. And then Maleine's like, shut up. But this is definitely when we have like them slipping up on what happens. And is that reference to something they've seen in the dream? Maybe like, we do have a little bit of reference of like the dream foretelling with our characters here. So is that what's happening now? Like, I don't know. And is that something that they shared amongst wise ones? Like, did multiple, often in the books, the wise ones share dreams, and they share, like, not share amongst each other, but they'll have the same dream. Like some of the wise ones that have the dreaming ability will have a similar dream. And then there were scenes when they come together and talk about it, they talk about how they had similar dreams. So that might be the case that we're seeing here, is how they both had these visions, and Madeleine doesn't want them to share it because of their fear of changing the future in an incorrect way.
Well, and I think it's said later in the episode that like a lot of times they don't share much of what they know, because you don't want to risk changing someone's mind or giving someone too much information. It's like in theory of time traveling. You don't want to know too.
The way she worded it, though, was that they do try to influence the future based off of the things that they see, but they do it. They believe that they're doing it the right way, at the very least, and they don't want to share it amongst people that may do it the wrong way. That's the feeling that I got in their explanation of it, at the very least.
They playing their own version of the game.
They're playing their own version of Desdemona. It was just another good shot of Madeleine, this actor that's playing them. Yeah, she's great. And also just we get to see the texture of the Aiel costumes here a little bit, and I really like what Sharon is doing.
I see some of them seem so thick, and I know it does get cold at night, but it is miserably hot during the day.
Not for them.
No, I guess it's true.
And often in desert cultures, you'll see they do cover up all of their skin. It actually does help with the heat to not be exposed to the sun, which is insane to think about. And they're all very light colors, reflective of the light. This is just a great look at. He's got a little bit of crazy eyes going on, but he's very excited to be doing this fight with Aviendha. I loved this scene. This was a great scene, and they seem to be having fun picking at each other. Like it wasn't. There was no animosity there. And there she is in the background watching.
I think when was the last time he just got to spar for fun?
No,
he doesn't.
If he's not training Rand, that's the
right, and that's. I mean, that's probably a little bit fun, but this was testing himself against a Maiden of the Spear was probably very fun for him.
Very fun for him, and obviously, like I said, Melindra back there just watching. And our other Valkyrie queen back here, just like checking out like her king possibly. I could see her trying. This is just another great
it's
image.
Still a little bit of crazy eyes, but it is great.
I love this. I want like to send this to Daniel Henney. Just be like, here, this is a great image of you. Yeah, this was poignant. I do think that she broke the spears a little too easy for me.
Oh, really?
Like she broke them over her knee. I don't know if that's a testament to how strong Bear is or how weak the spears were.
Yeah.
She just kind of just like blop and breaks them over her knee. And all three of them at once. Like
this was still really similar to what happened in the books, though.
Very.
The only thing that it's almost exact. They just left out that the spears would be melted down and made into trinkets to be passed out when she returned.
Yeah, that she would have to pass out. I did like that in the thing. Like, it's just another tiny little bit of Aiel culture that I liked how they do that. It's not meant to be a humiliation where it kind of sounds like it does for a second, but if you think about it, it's more meant for the, now ex Maiden of the Spear to give away and really part with what was hers, but still it's not, you're not destroying it. It's being turned into something else and being given to, you're supposed to give it to your family and people that you love. So
I remember nice. Egwene coming to her defense in the books during that scene, being like, how can you do that to her? It means so much to her. Yeah.
And another good choice also I want to point out, not making her strip naked and run through the thing. Like, unnecessary. Like, we don't need that.
Not needed.
Like, you don't need to strip them naked to have them do the arches in the White Tower or this. Like, it's just unnecessary. It seems like, not that I want to throw any shade in Robert Jordan's direction, because he was not like one of those gross dudes, or at least from everything that I know about him. But it does seem like a little bit of a wish fulfillment type thing. Like,
well, I think too, it's just a way of expressing vulnerability.
Yeah, in the written word. Yeah, that makes sense. It's more of a way to be like, oh, how vulnerable they are. They have no defense against everyone looking gorgeous. I have no notes here.
Look how similar they look. Like, even the looks on their faces. Like, I was like, they could be related.
Definitely, I could see them. I could see them being like an uncle for sure. Yep. Noticeably, very little red hair, if any. He's all gray.
Just a little, just right on the edge.
Just a little at the roots still, maybe, and like on the edges of his hair. I love Bjorn's look as Rhuarc. Absolutely freaking fantastic, and especially his costuming is just gorgeous. Like, Sharon did a wonderful job with such a restrictive palette of the Aiel. Just so good. I love how they all seem to have like some sort of
medallion.
Like, something going on, like hanging. It looks like it could be like a necklace hanging around all of their necks. Like, you could see bears over here in the background, and I don't know if you could see any of the. It really only seems to be the wise ones and the clan chiefs that have this type of extra little bits there, which makes sense. And also, this is the scene where Rhuarc tells him about the tattoo, and we see it a little bit.
Well, and he explains that the Capricorn is marked twice. It's marked left and right.
This is the first time we heard he is marked twice, where it's like those lines we hear so much in the book, like he comes marked twice, and twice shall he be marked. Like, we so many times in the books. Savanna, again, no notes.
Yeah, she's perfection. She's absolutely over the top. Absolutely over the top.
Look at all of these. Like, this looks like it could be vertebrae from some animal. We have all different types of bones. These could be rib bones, and they're all, so a lot of them are adorned and carved and stained. And then she has pearls and gold. Perfect. Also, gigantic emeralds or sapphires or something. Yeah.
She's gorgeous too. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Even with the very strange, I don't even know what to call it.
It looks Egyptian almost on her head. Like, it looks like an Egyptian headdress, like the way they would always have like the reset. It almost looked like a cobra head, and that's kind of what she looks like a little bit here too, which makes sense for Savanna. Though we can see she does have red hair underneath, and it looks like it's braided. Like, you could see like the hair pulled tightly into maybe what might be a braid there, and Couladin sneaking up in the background. I'm not sure how I feel about like what seems like all of the Shido being in black.
In black, yeah,
kind of weird.
I think it's to other them visually, make us see that they're bad. They're bad people.
Bad. Clothing, Shido, dark. They're shadowy, and I don't know,
evil.
It's like the ninjas. They're ninjas. Like you see all the other Shido back there, all wearing black, and she's in black too. Like the rest of is in black, and you can tell she has so many more necklaces than we saw in the other thing. Yeah, and she's got bracelets on. It looks like she's got some rings on. She's definitely decked out in jewelry from head to toe. That headdress, though, is just absolutely ridiculous, which is, her. And again, another gorgeous person in the world of the Wheel of Time. We're meeting the Shido is really all that's happening, right?
Rand asks to enter Rhuidean. He finds out that his father, he says, my mother was, because he knows that his mother, I think, is Maiden of the Spear at this point. He says, my mother, and she turns to him and it's a bear. She's like, no, your father was Aiel. And then she gets interrupted, I think, by Couladin being like, he's not one of us.
He's presenting himself like a woman, he says.
Oh, the other tidbit I wrote down is I think it's Bear that says like your paths. She's taught because then Egwene's like, well, I'm going to go with him, and she's like, we would not say yes. Your paths do not align, and that's the first time I think we've kind of heard in the show you guys are not for each other, and in the way that you're meant
kind
to
of
be.
hinting at, and also maybe they've seen her path. That I feel like that might mean they've seen part of Egwene's path, maybe in their visions or whatever. So to know that at the very least, or maybe they've just seen Rand's and she's not there. Who knows? I didn't grab the image when she takes out the knives, but she pulls out something like 4 or 5 knives or something like that, right?
She just keeps going. It was hilarious.
And Rand kind of looks at her like, man. And I think Bear and Madeleine like look a little impressed too in that scene, which I really appreciated. Like in a way that this episode is really dense, but also in a way it's compact because we only are really getting a handful of characters in this episode. This might be one of the most dense episode with the least characters.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the least smattering of characters.
Especially when you consider how many Yosha played.
Oh God!
And this is it, right? Like that was the full.
Yep.
I said 18-minute cold open ends, like right there,
right
as
there.
They go to step through.
Yeah, as they go to step through into Rhuidean. But nothing really going on in the background here. We see that there's tents. I can't really tell if the tents are any different between the two groups. That's definitely a Shido right there. But yeah, nothing really going on. You would think that when the Aiels come back, first of all, these spears look big as hell for Aiel spears.
Yeah, some are shorter, but yeah, they look very
Some are
tall.
shorter, but some are very long, like taller than Rand in some cases, like when they step through them. But do you think these are the spears left over from the clan chiefs? And I guess the maidens wouldn't have them when they go in. This is probably just clan chief spears.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we see the first
ones that didn't make their way out.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of these is probably Moiraines. And then when we go in, we get some really interesting shots of architecture, of the actual city of Rhuidean. And apparently, the statues built at the end of the Breaking of the World had 5 toes on each foot, just in case you were wondering. So I'm not sure if this is a mistake. Obviously, we don't see any more statues than the 2 that we're about to see. But like this looks like the bottom half of this statue is like eroded and broken away. Though you can see a lip here, so maybe, I don't know. It does look like it's broken away. But then the shot that we get of it is this, and if you zoom in, which again, we're not supposed to be doing this, like this isn't how we're supposed to be watching it, but it doesn't look like either of them are broken, but this is them walking in. Like if you zoom in here, we have Moiraine and Rand walking in. So this isn't like just some other shot of this. This gives me huge Never-Ending Story vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
From the Sphinx scene. Really cool though. The architecture is really cool. Unlike anything we've seen, it looks almost Romanesque.
Oh, it does. Yeah, no, it for sure does.
Yeah, like so it's definitely unlike any of the cities we've seen thus far, for sure. Especially in their clothes too. Like these could be Aiel, like ancient Aiel. In their clothes, the Gen Aiel.
The immenseness of it reminds me of
Shadow Logoth.
Thank you. I apologize. Very tired.
The height of
the
the
immenseness
walls.
of it feels like that. This was another great city.
Yeah, I could see that. Even though it was seemed to like alluding to some of the stuff we see later, but it seems like it was built solely just to cover in shadow and like they don't ever live in it. Like in the books. It does seem like it was meant for that once Rand does his thing and the fog is lifted and stuff, but that obviously doesn't happen at the end of this episode. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen with Rhuidean in the future. But Avon and Sora looks awesome. Not sure what these little plinths or pillars or obelisks. They kind of look like obelisks a little bit, like the top half of them at least. But interesting little tidbit there. Just to throw out there, we do hear in one of the flashbacks 10,000 Chora trees were sent out. Only one made it there, which is an interesting thing to think about.
We know it was 3,000 years old. Yeah. And then I wrote down on here the spine, because I think I talked about that in the other episode, that like they hadn't mentioned it. The Aiel waste being on the other side of the spine of the world. Yeah. They mention it like 3 or 4. I wrote it down in my notes every time they mentioned it in this episode. And it's multiple times that they talk about it. And but this is where I love this. This is where Maureen tells the story. She tells about Laman's sin. which was
the first time we're hearing about it. The
Yep.
Aiel War caused the Aiel War.
Mhm.
And she does say it was her uncle.
Yep.
Which is great. And then they have like they have that moment where Rand is like, so you're telling me the fact that your uncle cut down a tree is the reason why I was born on Dragonmount to fulfill the prophecy. So we've been linked together this whole time.
Yep.
So it's the first time that Rand, Moiraine probably realized that already, but it's the first time that Rand is really realizing how
inner
big,
world.
Yeah, but also how big the pattern is planning, like, you know, how extensively his waves in the pattern are affecting things. Like I think this is the first time Rand is really seeing his effect, what he probably believes is going to be his effect on the world at large. He was even sending ripples through the pattern before he was born.
Yeah,
is really what this is, and that's gonna really weigh on him. Obviously, like we've seen a few references to what I've been dubbing Shadow Rand.
Yeah.
You know, with the first time when he says to Moiraine, but you know, I don't have to listen to you anymore. You don't control me anymore. And then like with Egwene in the room when they were hugging, and you know, the shadows were on his face, where both of them were like in their own little world. You know, he was like staring off into blankness and she was staring off into blankness. And you made that comment that was like a great harken back to season 1. In episode 1, season 1, when they were hugging. But yeah, so I think that this scene in particular is going to be something that comes back and weighs on Rand's mind. Great shot here of just Evan and Sora. Looks beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah. And the two of them sitting there, like, I didn't
know what was happening. It could be a very sweet moment.
Very, yeah. It looks almost like ephemeral, like fairy almost, especially with the tree being there. I love this tree. I love the way they did it. I did honestly, like in my brain, I always kind of saw like a redwood sized tree, but the way they describe them in the books, this makes much more sense because they talk about resting under the canopy, and you can't really rest under the canopy of a redwood. Freaking thing is 200 feet tall. You know what I mean? Like this, you can rest under the canopy of this tree, and it makes more sense. So past me was wrong.
Yep. And there they are.
Yeah.
The columns.
The columns look really cool. Like
there's so many more than I
expected to see.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah. And there's our first little glimpse of Muradin in there heading in. Rand looks so small compared to the two. And I loved when we got to see later in this episode when we saw them get formed. It looked like Latra Procé was she made them.
Yeah,
like
she created them.
Yeah, she created this somehow with a weave. Like obviously she was very old, and she was already prior to the breaking of, you know, a very highly ranked and highly powerful Aes Sedai. So makes sense that she would know how to do this stuff. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, him going through these glass columns. I love that you could see through them. I love the set design here. It's so simplistic, but still so cool. Like they're just really, you know, slightly translucent, you know, probably plastic, you know, columns, but they look so cool and they're so otherworldly. I love it.
I do hope someday we see behind the scenes of this and how they shot.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
Because they do such a good job of making it seem not only like this emotional journey, but it is physically hard to move.
Yeah, he's like leaning
There's like
forward.
A power.
Yeah,
trying to keep you out of that, or from knowing the truth, or knowing, you know.
Yeah, or you need to fight to learn the truth. It's not really trying to keep them from learning it, but it's like you need to fight to figure it out. Like you need to want this. Where like a lot of the Aiel might not want it, after they find out like that one step, they might not want to learn more, and you need to want it to go forward. I love their choice in having Rand play all of his past, not past selves, but his ancestors. You know,
Yosha was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, Yosha playing them, not Rand. But yeah.
Well, it's Rand. It is Rand.
Yeah. The makeup is amazing. Like you can tell that it's supposed to be his ancestor. You can tell that it's Rand, while still looks very different. Like very, very different. And God, like I've been saying, like Donald Flynn, like his acting chops have been great. Holy crap, Yosha. like in these scenes. Amazing.
I cried.
Yeah, absolutely. I cried in this scene. When
he said "shade of my heart," that's when I.
Yeah.
That's when I lost.
And this is when the Aiel is telling him like we found her. Huh? I do want to bring one more thing up before we go on too much more. So I wanted to grab this image of Rhuarc because, you know, and we could see the other Aiel in the background. You know, we could see there's a maiden over here. So and he is a clan chief. So this is a good juxtaposition here. So we have clan chief in current world. So this is about 25-ish years later. And then we have, you know, clan chief from Aiel War. You know, just there's very slight differences in their costumes, obviously, because he was clan chief of the Terradad Aiel. Different time, different people. Obviously, you know, we've said over and over again that the Aiel's costuming is very personal to them. So obviously, being different is interwoven into that. But it's just an interesting thing to see. I feel like. You know,
well, I just wonder if because they had what I took from because these are, I think, very different from what Rhuarc is wearing is. Did they dress differently because they had gone across the spine of the world? Because I feel like they talk about that in the books of them adding like greens and whites to their outfits to help them blend in better. And so since they were fighting in the snow, if that's why they don't
and
have
this looks a bit warmer. Like he has a full head thing going. Like they all seem to have like full head things going on.
Like imagine if that was clean, that would probably be pretty white.
And then everyone else here doesn't have really like a head thing. They just kind of have like a hood or like, you know, the part of the cotton sword that they just kind of, it looks like one of those like scarves.
Yeah.
Like the really thick scarves that you can like pull up over like as a hood. Yeah.
It was interesting that he didn't veil himself. Did you catch that?
That was a comment that I made in like when I was watching it. I was like, I feel like that was a mistake.
Well, I think it was because they
want us to see his face. Yeah, they want us to see his face, but I really feel like he probably should. And it would have been poignant too, you know, honestly, like if he veiled and then ripped his veil off when he got there, like that could have been a thing. I don't know. I really feel like he should have. We found her. We're going to run over there and we have to fight a little bit. And he veils before he starts fighting. I really feel like he should have veiled. That's my only note there is that. And yeah, so there is when he finds her. I don't have children, but like I could not imagine what that feels like. You know, you happen upon your wife in the snow, dead, and the blood in between her legs there's no baby, like that. Wow. Yeah. Like the emotion. Yeah. And you know, I really feel like he's got it on display there pretty good. And you know, going back and forth between them there, like, you know, he's got the face going on, like I really like the way the cinematography that they did with that. I'm
just going to say right now, if this show does not receive nominations, like I am going to riot. Especially
for this season.
This episode alone for the cinematography is absolutely insane.
Absolutely amazing. And the fact that they still haven't gotten anything for costume and makeup is just beyond me. I'm not saying they should win like right off the bat, but a nomination. Like
set design.
Costuming. Like, oh my God. The acting too. I'm not saying like the acting is bad, but like, oh my God, it is gorgeous. Yeah. This show is gorgeous. Yeah. Like you could hate this show and hate the acting even, like maybe, like I don't see how, but like you could hate the lore that they've changed in the middle of time. You cannot say that the set design and costuming and makeup isn't good. Like it is amazing. Anyway, so yeah, here you go. Here's your like visual, like and there's no wind. Like it's not that there's wind because you could see like none of his clothes are getting blown, like, and you could tell in the episode too when he's doing it, it's not like there's wind blowing him back. There's just a force keeping pressure on him for moving forward. And you like I really feel like the best description is you have to want this once you get in there. And it bringing him down to his knees too is just a great visual. Really great visual. And then seeing the bodies of the people who failed to make it through is really powerful, especially how decayed they are.
Yeah. One
thing I want to bring up too is this dry fog is a comment that Maureen made before too, where specifically having that made me think of it when I mentioned decaying, because like they seem to decay. Like there's no, I feel like I remember from the books, animals don't enter here. Like there were no animals when they went in there. so like it's just interesting. I don't know. It was interesting to me. The specifically the way when we see another desiccated corpse in a few minutes when Rand steps over it. But I feel like this may be like it made me think Ashendari, the spear, a little bit. And again, another great, seeing they both have very similar. They have these shells in them. Yeah, the little puka shells in them. They both have that. I wonder if that's a Tardad Aiel thing.
Yeah, look. Okay, do you see the little like downturned? It's right under where his at the very top right there. It is kind of similar.
This metal piece.
Scroll down. I think it might be the same. Look, if the top part of that was covered.
Oh yeah, look. It has the teeth too. Oh shit.
Interesting.
We can't see the top of Rhuarc's because it's underneath that. But if that has puka shells on it, that might be the same one.
Look at the puka shells at the bottom. On Rhuarc.
We can't see it. We can't.
But look at Rhuarc's. There's puka shells on the bottom. So it stands to reason there's probably puka shells on the top.
Yeah. Oh, man. That looks almost like the same exact one. I wonder if
it is the same one.
On purpose.
That is the clan
Chief's thing. Like this, like the Tardad Aiel where, man, that's all right. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Rhuidean Sans Fog. Looks very.
What is happening there?
That's the fog coming out.
Just spewing out. Okay.
Yeah, that was the fog coming out. Like that's right when it happened. I grabbed the screenshot just before because it was a really fast scene. But the buildings look very modern, or not modern. They look almost like futuristic to me.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi looking.
Yeah, definitely. All made out of stone. So it's a really interesting kind of thing. Like it's where you would think like a sci-fi, like they look sci-fi, but then you realize like it's all stone. There's no glass, there's no metal. So it's weird. Like it almost kind of looks like they were raised right up out of the sand because they're the same color and texture.
That's true.
So it looks like maybe the Aes Sedai just kind of raised them right up out of the ground.
Created from the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though we do hear the Aiel, the Tinker Aiel Tinkers later saying that they're going to build the city. This doesn't seem built like by human hands to me, to be honest with you. But so yeah, okay. I found another picture of whatever this one's. I forgot what this version of Rand's name was, but 100% the same one. Like 100% this. Even like you could see the carvings in this one a little bit here, but you could really see them in this one. It is definitely the exact same piece.
Medallion. We're gonna go with medallion. That sounds better than necklace.
Yeah.
Clan chief of the Tardad Aiel.
Yeah.
Medallion.
Yeah. 100% the same one. That's cool. That's really cool. Good eyes. The only other note I have about this makeup is he looks a little Cro-Magnon.
Yeah.
He looks a little Neanderthalish here.
He's got a little bit of the forehead bridge going on.
Yeah, really big brow going there. He's almost got a mullet too, which I love. I love that he's got a little bit of mullet going on. Great beard. Fantastic beard. Love it.
It's very thick beard.
Yeah. And he's got a lot of different, significant others throughout these scenes too. And really, really interesting. I love it. And then we see our shadowless Rhuidean again. So shadowless Rhuidean look great. Cool. This really makes me think Ashendari. Like, obviously, it's not the same as Ashendari is in the books. Ashendari is described like more of a halberd, which is a pole arm with a sword blade at the end of it. But the fact that this doesn't look like wrought iron. You know what I mean? Like they're not making good steel in the waist. This looks silvery.
Forged.
Yeah, it looks power. And then it has this filigree in it. Like it could be old tongue. I'm not sure, but yeah, it makes me feel Ashendari. Like I feel like it could be Ashendari. It also kind of looks like the Dragon Scepter a little bit.
Yeah.
Latra Pose over here.
Very old. Very
12 billion years old.
12,000.
But her outfit's still perfect.
Yep.
Same outfit from the Age of Legends. Perfect still. I was trying to figure out what this necklace could be. Like, obviously it's just a cool necklace that they probably just threw on this actor. But maybe a terangrial. It does have a yellow, a gray, and then, not sure.
It's almost green. That looks almost like a tree to me.
Yeah, it looks
green
like a tree growing through it. Blue and then like white, but then that's all that she's got there. So I don't think it's a reference to Aja colors really.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice looking. And then now we know Sakarnen, the most powerful female sangreal. So that is literally just a complete 180 from what Sakarnen is in the books. Yeah. Sakarnen in the books is the second most powerful male sangreal. Yeah. It's again, full spoilers. It is the sangreal that Demandred is searching for when he becomes his alternate Bow the Willed form. So definitely a big change. But again, I'm not sad if they combined Chodenkal with Kalendor and Sakarnen. Like, I'm not mad about it. Like, yes, having lots of fun, different toys of the one power is fun, is cool.
It doesn't change the
really
story.
Doesn't change anything though. Yeah. No. I know a lot of people are going to be mad and you're going to be like, oh yeah, that time that the male thing, like everyone always makes the same stupid joke about stuff, but not a big deal. Really not a big deal. And oh yeah, by the way, the tree that just happened to make it to out of the 10,000 trees that they sent to the Aiel Waste, the one that happened to make it was the one with Sakarnen hidden inside of it. Just yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
The channeling that she does is really cool. It seems very complicated and precise, which makes sense because she's a 12 bajillion-year-old, Age of Legends Aes Sedai. So makes sense. Maybe the first Shido.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
He's got black on, so.
Well, and maybe I'm just wondering, because have we only seen, I wonder if they're going to do slightly different color variations for all of the seps. For all of the different ones. So like, yeah. Because I looked like there was someone in gray in the earlier photo, like more in gray. So I wonder if that's how they're going to differentiate more with color.
When we see multiple seps of Aiel, yeah, I could see that.
I didn't want him to step on it. It just gave me,
Yeah, I feel you. It's
my room.
Yeah, and not to get gruesome or anything, but just checking out. It also, it looks like the cloth is black, like another Shido failed. You know what I mean? Like that cloth, so that we don't have to look at the bones. Looks like black cloth. That to me looks like another failed Shido, possibly. Again, that having to push through. Beautiful. This
my favorite, stoned Rand.
Yeah, look at that. Both of them, like very, very stoned.
This is Stone Rand with fake Matt and fake Perrin.
or Merry and Pippin. Because this gave me full, like, before it got serious, these scenes, full Hobbit vibes. Yeah. I got full Hobbit vibes from that.
Just in there hugging a tree.
Yeah.
Hugging his tree.
I do love their interactions though. I love these guys.
They made me love this. Well, I think because we already love Rand and Matt and Perrin, it was easy to love these three. They felt very familiar in their interactions with each other.
This is a no-nonsense man. No. This guy, you do not want to make him mad at you, I feel like. He's the one that was just like grumpy all the time. That's the Sen Bui of this Aiel.
There's one in every community.
Yeah. This Aiel caravan, or proto Tinker Aiel caravan, that's the Sen Bui of this caravan for sure. That guy looks grumpy as a motherfucker. I love, like I said, I just love their interactions here. They look so great. This actor is a great actor to be able to like convey this emotion with such just like his face so quickly and so easily in these scenes, especially because they have like very little together. Look at that. Look at Rand. Like, they're definitely up to no good. I feel like they might have gotten this shot like when they were like, messing around in between sets or something. Like they're with each other a little bit because it just looks so authentic. Obviously, that's what it's supposed to look like. They're actors, but like, I really feel it. I really feel like they're best friends here with each other. Getting a little more serious here. They're going to talk, and this is when his mom comes in and is telling him about the thing, and we go from happy Rand, sad Rand, happy Rand, sad Rand, happy Rand, sad Rand.
As a mom, this was gut wrenching.
Yeah,
as he's like, please. But this was a great line.
So Rand invented the Aiel.
Yes.
You got to pull your dust.
What are we going to do now? We're going to go get her back.
This
was the end. We skipped over that part. This was, I think, where, because he's crying at his mom.
Oh yeah, right.
This was where he's like, "What are we gonna do?" And his friend is like, "What are we gonna do now?" Fake Matt, and he's like, "They can't fight, so we can protect them. Like that's now our job, is we're gonna defend these people."
Yeah, and they kind of had that like idea reserved, like we're gonna go do this, but then when they got there, they weren't sure, like, you know what I mean? Like they were like very iffy about it until they were forced to do it. And then, fake Perrin died, or Charlie or Charles or whatever they call him.
I think it's Charlie, but fake Perrin's good too.
Yeah, fake Perrin. Fake Perrin dies, which was sad. And and Rand literally invents the Aiel. Like, we can't use swords; those are only used for fighting. This can at least be used for putting food on the table. Like, make sure. But we always are going to wear our little dust masks when we kill people because we can't show our faces. So, like, very. I know. I feel bad for this actor that like this is the only scenes he got to do, but he did them very well, very very well.
Moiraine
grabbing Sakarnen. So now we know that Choden Ball is actually Sakarnen. So yeah, she gets that. That's going to be an interesting thing. Maybe this could lend to her confronting Lanfear. Lanfear shows up and is like, we had a mission. We're on a team, and then Maureen's like, I'm going to take my chance to you now because I have Sakarnen. I could see that being a thing. Gorgeous weaving.
Yep.
Again, just and I really just left this in here because I love this shot. We see the ring, the hands, the weaving.
Can I say something unpopular? Potentially unpopular. So obviously I much prefer the original rings. The longer they have worn these things, the more that they've grown on me.
Me too.
And they really do not bother me anymore. I really like them more than I did. I like that they distinguish the Ajas. I think that's an interesting aspect. So they have grown on me. They have definitely grown on me.
Yeah, I don't hate them.
No,
anymore.
I don't loathe them like I used to.
Yeah, I did loathe them before. Like, it makes sense that they're kind of big and gaudy. They want people to see them.
Well, it's so impractical. That was my problem with it. Is like I run into things all the time. I hit myself earlier. That you would break that if you're just, weaving wildly near something. You would just, still. Yeah. But I like them more than I used to.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is like, the Aes Sedai are not going to be like cleaning dishes and like, doing, I mean, I get it. They've grown on me. I agree with you.
The Green Aja fights. How do you know they're not going to get in the way?
Yeah.
Oh.
This was their scenes.
There was a lot of good screams in this episode. There's a lot of really good.
The emotion on Aiela's face is palpable. Yeah. Absolutely palpable. Like I already knew she was a great actor, but like.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah. So okay, hold on. We forgot to keep count. Yeah, we forgot to keep count. So we're at currently 3 Rands in this episode, right? We have Rand. We have Rand. We have Janduin Rand.
Yes.
And we have Rand wearing Rhuarc's necklace. Rand.
And then we have
this Rand. So 4 Rands.
No. Rand inventing the Aiel is 4. So this is 5.
Oh, right. 5 Rands. 5 Rands. So we're at 5 Rands right now in this episode. 5 Rands. And I love the way that they played with the camera in this.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Fishwife Moiraine. She's even got tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's I love the way they played with this. Like, and even her face, she looks so like innocent and like happy. Like, oh, what's going on, honey, over there? And we're going to die now.
Make us a net for our fish.
I'm just checking out the other people in the background. I don't see anyone else I recognize. No, just Egwene as the keeper, which is pretty cool. But none of the other sitters, I don't think I recognize any of them. No, but yeah. So another Amyrlin seat Moiraine. This is a really cool spot that I got it at. I didn't even do that on purpose. Like, it's mid head being severed, which is 6 Rands. And then we have this has no Rand in it. No. This is just a Moiraine getting killed / fighting with Lanfear. This is right after Lan got put out. I do have a flaming Lan in a second, but okay. So 7. another Rand. So we're at 7. 8. There's our flaming Lan. I don't know why the picture got in the wrong direction, but that's great. Yeah, that's a rough a rough shot for Daniel Henney.
You
I'd
can
love to
tell
ask
that
him about
Lan
this scene.
did not practice stop, drop, and roll.
He did not. There's not a single roll happening here.
Nope.
He did not attend that class in like first grade. Or
he
whatever.
Didn't grow up in the 90s, clearly.
Yeah. What is this? 9? We're at 9 now.
Yep, and she's bowing to him. This is.
And then I'm just checking out the Two Rivers folks, see if I spot any familiar faces.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's Senbui in the background.
It looks like him. Mm-hmm. This looks like. Oh no, I don't have a picture of him. I got to when I interviewed Andre. Neckvissel, he this kind of looks like him. This he snuck himself into a scene, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, no other familiar faces. Another Rand. This is, we only get this shot real quick, but it's Moiraine with Sakarnen killing Rand with lightning. So that's, what are we at, 10 or 11? 10 okay. And there's 11 Rand. So this one is, so these were all from Maureen's trips through her thousand lives that she futures that she sees as she goes through the rings. But now we're back to glass columns and Rand. So now we're at 11 Rands, right? Mm-hmm. So this is old man Modi or Mahdi, leader of leader of the Aiel / Proto Tinker group. Rand, and this is a little bit of a longer flashback here. So this looks reminiscent to the burned out Tinker.
That's what I was gonna say. It kind of looks like what we saw.
Yeah, I feel really bad for them. This looks terrible. Beautiful vistas though there. looks really nice in the background. This looks like, they're not quite to the Aiel Waste yet.
I love that we hear a lot of all will be well. All will be well, and all manner of things will be well. Mm-hmm.
And they knew the song.
There's a complete lack of music, like being sung in the show, based on what I've seen so far. Fair. Like they had the Manetheren song in the first season. Like there's just, we do get one.
We do get the Harvest song later, which I liked. I did like that. And there's our slightly older or younger, slightly younger Avon and Zora with Sakarnen in it. I'm just checking out what else is in this little wagon. Nothing really interesting. There seems to be like
bags.
A little something over there. Yeah, no, just some stuff. And then we have stupid hair Rand. What I've dubbed stupid hair Rand. But I don't want to, the end of this scene is pretty poignant. There's just 2 of them left. So like the fact that we go from Rand here with his grandson is pretty much all that makes it out of this thing. And again, just so happens to be the Chora tree with Sakarnen in it that makes it out. But like, I guess they must find another caravan. I don't see that old man. He's literally dragging the wagon away. I don't see this guy doing that for very long.
No.
So what is this? 12?
This is 12. We're on
12. This is our 12th Rand this episode. And we see some of, the Avon, the Chora trees in the background here. The set design, cool, definitely looks very Age of Legends-y, or at least very otherworldly, very othered from anything we've seen. This does not look like anywhere it could be in what we've seen in Randland yet, in the Westlands, for sure. The very modern looking kind of stuff on it. There may be, I thought that might be a zipper there, but I don't think so. I think it's just stitching.
No, that's a zipper. It's under the buckle. Yeah, look at the top. Yeah. See, it's a zipper.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a zipper. So, yeah, very modern looking. And the buckle, too, very modern looking, which it should be. Because, technically the Age of Legends is actually futuristic compared to us. These 2 Aes Sedai. So we got Latra, again, very young Latra. Same hair, too, as same old necklace. Latra. Really, those clothes must be power wrought, I feel like, at this point. Because,
she can clean them with the 1 power. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Apparently she can mend clothes with the 1 power too, and not just people later. She looks fantastic too. Gorgeous. Like I love this Aes Sedai, whoever she is. I wonder, it's kind of poignant. She's wearing white and black. Just saying. We know the ancient symbol of the Aes Sedai was white and black, so maybe that's a little nod to that. And then this chair that she's sitting on. Ooh, you know what this looks like?
It's the Waygate.
It's the Waygate. Yeah. I don't think I need to go and grab that image. This looks exactly. Those are trefoil leaves. Yep. Yeah, this looks exactly like that wall of the Waygate. Okay. All right. I see you, Rafe. So yeah, this was this. I actually kind of liked this Rand after seeing the scene with him. Like, I didn't hate him as much because of his hair. I still don't like the hair. I'm sorry, Davina. The hair. This Rand's hair does not do it for me. Rand number 12. Yeah, that Rand number 12. His hair is lacking. The first 11. On point. This one though, I'm not a fan of this hair, but I do love that they made him, gay in this, or at least bi, or pan, who knows. I like that he had like a different loved one in each one of these almost. Yeah. We kind of see what might be the breaking of the world going on there in the background. Very, like, we see these, like, could be like tendrils of fire spurting up out of the ground, maybe male Aes Sedai shooting fire into the sky. There seems almost to be some like
fire tornadoes. I don't know.
Yeah. And some crazy explosions going on back there. This looks like almost like a mushroom cloud coming over here, like very, very cool. And then, this giant wall with all the wagons coming out, and the wagons too. Let me see. Do we get a good shot? Yeah. The wagon was like metallic.
It looked metal. Yeah.
It's like a futuristic wagon. Who thought? With the horse too. Did I get a shot of the horse? Yeah, we got the horses. Yeah, really, really cool. I really liked this, and the wheels too are very like they're metal. Nothing about this wagon says to me, old. It definitely, I could see them coming out of the Age of Legends for sure. And Moiraine not doing very well. Nope, not doing good. He did not like what he saw in those two visions. I don't think he made it out of the Tinker one, like where it was like
probably not.
Yeah, because like at this point Rand had passed him, and it really, to me, it seemed like he passed him at the invention of the Aiel vision. So I'm thinking
he couldn't handle having been
a Tinker.
Yeah.
One of the lost ones, when really they're the lost ones. Yeah. Like, which I've always loved that about the Aiel.
Breakers. Okay.
Yeah. And if anyone knows Kevin Angus and didn't know that he was in the Wheel of Time, but apparently Kevin Angus is in the Wheel of Time.
Grand 13 is Kevin Angus.
Yeah. Kevin, we love you. I kid, but he does kind of look like you a little bit. Not gonna lie. But oh my God, this scene in particular, I paused and like I needed a minute, because when we see that, the Column Dan, so I have been a fan of the Wheel of Time for 20 something years at this point. I don't even know how old I am, whatever, since like 1997. The first time that I read about the Column Dan, I've been obsessed with the place, because like the idea of it is so cool. Like the Column Dan is what made me realize that the Wheel of Time isn't a fantasy book. It's a post-apocalyptic science fiction novel that's set in that has a fantasy that just so happens to take place in a fantasy setting. Like, especially when we see some other shots of do I have it closer? Yeah. So like this shot of the Column Dan, and we'll go back to Lanfear in a second, but you can see there's like an antenna coming kind of like off the top. And when it's falling, you can see other things kind of coming off the top of it too. And then we have Rand number, what is this, 13?
Rand number 13.
Rand number 13 is Kevin Angus Rand. I'm sorry in advance to Kevin. I love you, bro, but like he does look like you a little bit here. Like I don't know what they did to him, because Yosha doesn't normally look like you. I don't know what he's got on his face here to make him look like you, but he looks like
they've done some stuff to maybe his nose and his forehead,
nose, and obviously maybe his chin too. Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely Kevin Althor or Rand Angus, 100%. Kind of jump back and forth from Moiraine. I don't want to stay here too long because of that, but like, it is kind of poignant. This is him. This is the end of Moiraine.
Another great scream. There's just tortured screams throughout this entire episode.
For sure. Our first look at Mirin Sedai. You know, he does, and he calls her Mirin Sedai.
He does call her Mirin.
And he's, you know, he's very attached to her. Like he what is it? They're bringing in the harvest now. Yeah. So like, you know, and this looks like a genuine smile. Like this is pre any really like darkness. I'm sure she had some interactions with Lews Therin that made her angry, and like she's probably harboring some ill will there, because we do know she almost instantaneously goes to the shadow once she knows what happened here. But man, this is a really interesting look of Natasha O'Keeffe as Lanfear here. She looks genuinely just like a good person here, and really not like a horrible person at all. And then obviously this happens right after. The song that they're singing here is really cool. Is this the song? Who knows? But I really and there's, you know, Randangus again, just out in the fields working. You know, I'm glad, you know, Kevin, you got out there and picked up a scythe and got to work with your family. When the Columdan fell in the books, and what the Columdan is as a research college, and like, you know, they talked about it was a research facility, and Mirin was a scientist exploring a power that they were able to kind of see or sense, that both men and women both were able to sense, and that's why they were like doing. It's so cool. Like that's it's such an interesting little bit that they just a piece, just 2-sentence thing that they drop in that just changes the entire scope of the whole story of the Wheel of Time. And the fact that they call this specifically a research college, like, was really cool. And then, you know, it plummets out of the sky and crushes the city underneath it, because there's definitely a city down there. There's definitely
100%.
Buildings down there. Who knows how many people die in this in this travesty? But here you go. You can actually kind of see the bits sticking off the top.
There's multiple.
There's some over here. There's some over there, and you could see multiple right here. Different heights. Those could be like, this thing is huge. Humongous.
Oh, bigger than the city below it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely bigger than the city below it. When it's described, and you can see also maybe a show wing or two flying around there. Robert Jordan said in an interview, I'm almost 100% certain, I want to say I'm in the 90s of certainty on this, but someone could correct me, that he said this is almost as big as like a small moon.
Wow. Okay.
In size, like, and you can really see it, like here, like if we zoom out, like it's huge. It's absolutely humongous. And imagine that just, you know, falling on a city. Like that city is gone. Not only is definitely everyone in the city is dead. No one is living through that. Yeah. Most of the people inside the column down.
Oh, there's no, I don't think anybody could.
Very few. Well, I mean, Lanfear survived.
Well, but she's not people.
Good point. Very good point.
I hope that gets clipped.
It is, yeah.
It's like a disco ball breaking apart. Like it's all these little pieces.
Oh yeah, it absolutely shatters too when it hits the ground. And the fact that there was the big hole blown out of it too, like when it happened too, was really cool. And then obviously we have this like rift. What it made me think of, any Doctor Who fans in the audience, the crack in Doctor Who when they do like the Bad Wolf season, and there's that big crack in the wall in Amy Pond's wall. Amy Pond, best Doctor Who companion, and Matt Smith, my favorite Doctor Who. But that's what this made me think of a lot. And, you know, we can go forward a little bit where we can see it a little bit more. Columdan is crashing into the ground, crushing more. Everyone's running except
for
do we see Kevin Angus here? No, he's not in this shot. No, he's not in the shot. Everyone here is running. But definitely going. And then we get this.
It starts to look like an eye.
There he is. There's Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how's it going, buddy? Definitely looks like an eye. 100% looks like an eye. I feel like if we ever get more of this scene, it might blink at us. Yeah. And then we get, and like you can almost see an eye here. Like, oh man, it's so fucking awesome. But then what I feel like we do get to see what might be behind this here is this. So like right after this scene is a quick flash of that.
Yep.
Which is interesting. So is it the pattern? Is it the Dark One? Is it part of his prison? And like, you know, this is the remnants of it? I don't know. But What this made me think of is maybe in the show, at the very least, the column where the column Dan falls is Shaul Ghoul.
Yeah, I like that
because
theory.
This must be the closest place to commune with the Dark One, if anywhere on the planet. And if we get to see a shot of Shaul Ghoul in the future and it's reminiscent of this, I would not be surprised at all, not even a little.
This was so good. They show without a doubt that these are not tattoos. These are carved inlaid into his skin. It was so good.
The way it grew too.
Yeah. Well, it's hollowed out first, and then the like gold and the color fills in, and you can see like in that part, the I know it's not as red as people would like, but I feel like that this in the sun is going to be more red because it's literally carved.
You can see the red in the scales. So like when you said like maybe when the sun hits it, it'll really accentuate that red a little bit. But I really, really like it.
Gorgeous.
I like it a lot. Like, look at that head. And that eye looks like a gemstone. That doesn't look like a green tattoo. Yeah. That looks like a gemstone. And that's what it's supposed to look like. And this looks like gold. It looks like someone poured gold on his arm. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. I will say, so like, this is my tattoo that I got, which is, I don't think I'm the Sakarnen. I could be. I feel like if I went through, I would be okay. I think I could come out as a clan chief. I did ask Maria Simmons, like, for Robert Jordan's exact notes on what the tattoo looked like, and this is what she gave me. This is like almost exactly what she gave me. But I will say, if you look at the scales in my tattoo and then the scales and that, they look really, really, really close. Mine is, but what I was saying is mine is slightly more book accurate, where this is different, but I'm fine with it. I love it. I absolutely love this version. It's freaking gorgeous. The wrap is really cool. It very specifically though, in the books, they talk about how the head lays just on the back of the hand, where here it seems to be completely tucked under.
Definitely wrist. Yeah,
it's definitely the wrist. I feel like that is specifically chosen so that they don't need to put this on Rand's arm every time, whether it's done with CG or practical effect. Like they could give Rand a long sleeve shirt for a scene, and they don't need to see it.
Yeah, that's
I feel like that's why they did that, which completely understand. I'm sure this is not easy to do, whether it's CG or practical or both. This is not a simple thing for them to do, for sure. And then we get some more.
The scene we've all been wanting to.
Oh yeah, I want as much of this as I possibly can get. I love Matt's hair.
It looks like he has a mullet.
He has a mullet or a perm. Like this looks like some 1980s hair.
There you go,
for sure. And then Elaine looks the same. To be honest with you. Mogideon's like, hey, what's going on over there?
I like how she's leaning in, like, hey,
she's like, hey, what's up over there, guys? What are you doing? That's what that looks like. And don't worry, I got some better ones where you could see them real well. I got some really good shots of this. But like, again, they're all like, oh, love it. Anyway, hold on. Let's get a better one. Though I do want to look at Moiraine real quick. Everyone was against me too when I said this was Moiraine. I'm like, no, it's Moiraine. They cut her hair. It's very obvious like what this is. This is like a torture of Moiraine, and cutting her hair is a great way to do that. But yeah, oh my God. I'm so sad that this is just in this one little flashback. If I ever get a chance to talk to any of them, like I'm going to be like, how much did you love wearing your like goth outfit?
It's another Rand too, by the way.
Ooh, yeah, it's another Rand. So what are we at? This is 13? 13th Rand? 14 Rand. And I love, again,
ear cuffs, jewelry.
Ear cuffs, mouth,
lip
also
cuff.
Like lip. Not just a pierced lip, but like a lip cuff. Yeah, for sure. And then she's got something on the side of her head that we don't even really get to see. This was probably awesome.
I bet they had so much fun with this
Rand's
scene.
Got ear cuffs too.
Filming this, I bet this was great.
Some good eyeshadow. His outfit too. I'm just so focused. I was really just so focused on these two that I didn't look at his outfit at all. He looks really cool too. This is, you know what? This is very serpent-like, maybe dragons. It's got scales, and there's like these little flares, little fins going off here. I love it. I absolutely love their outfits in this scene so much, and the makeup and the hair is really cool. Oh God, Sharon so much, especially for this scene. Here we go. This is a good one where we get a nice.
Light too.
Yeah, I was like, it took me a minute to get it because it's like lightning flashing like really quick. So it took me a second. Get a little better shot. Matt's got a belly shirt.
I think he's got a shirt on. Maybe he doesn't have a shirt on underneath.
Yeah, I think that looks like a belly button right
there.
I
like his choker.
Oh yeah, and look, he's got his dagger. Perrin looks really cool. Perrin's got an axe too. I didn't notice that. That's definitely an axe. I'll see if we can get a better shot. And, obviously she just sliced Maureen's neck. I think I have a close-up of that. Still can't see. Definitely looks like an axe, though. Oh, and he's wearing this. Ooh, okay, that's cool. Interesting little addition. Interesting. I wonder what everyone thinks about that. Let us know what you think about that. This is cool. He looks really awesome.
That hair is fantastic.
Yeah, the locks that he's wearing in this is cool. And then he's got looks like he's wearing some armor underneath the cloak too. And then Moiraine in the background just looking. Kira looks great. Honestly, no hate, but hers is the least oh my god, I'm in love. Yeah. But it does look cool. It does definitely look really cool. I like this shoulder piece is awesome. Also awesome, fantastic ear pieces. Is Perrin wearing? No, we can't see his ears. But she's definitely got some nice jewelry going on. The big thick braid looks cool. But looks great. I love it. I love that they have that he's got this ring on. Are the others wearing that? I don't think we can see really their hands in any other shot.
Interesting that it would be Perrin.
Yeah, I can't see their hands. Oh, he might be wearing it. Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Now that I brightened it up a little bit, I really feel like he's wearing it for sure over here. I mean, it could just be a slight distortion in the way he's moving his fingers, but
it. If Perrin's wearing it, he would definitely be wearing it.
Can't see the other's hands. We can't see Nynaeve's hands at all. Can't tell if she's wearing it. I mean, she could be, but I can't tell. And it wouldn't be odd.
You almost see something glittery on Elaine's hands.
It looks like she might be wearing an Aes Sedai ring.
No, the other side.
Oh,
Go to the other side.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But for sure, Perrin is wearing it.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's really interesting, especially because he's not a channeler. And you can almost make out his yellow eyes in this shot, too. That's a really good shot. Even though it's blurry and distorted in this, I feel like that's a pretty good shot of Perrin. He looks sinister, man.
Matt looks like he's got an ear cuff, maybe.
Matt looks like he is in a 1980s hairband. I feel like he's in Twisted Sister or something. You know what I mean? He's about to be like, would you like to rock? He's 100%. I love it. I'm not saying it's bad, but that's the feeling that I get from Matt here. So how many rands are we at?
14
from here
was what I got.
Rands.
So I want you guys to comment and tell us if we missed.
Yeah,
we missed a rand, but we got 14.
And I don't know if you want to give this to me, but technically, when Rand comes out of Rhuidean,
he's the Carcon.
He's the Carcon. He's got the things. So technically, he might be
official decision is 14 and a half.
All right, 14 and a half. All right.
14 and a half.
That's a conservative estimate there, I feel like. 14 and a half rands in this episode. 14 and a half versions of Yoshi playing characters in this episode.
Thom. We're missing Rand sleeping with Moiraine. Them having we're missing that
one.
Oh
yeah, I didn't grab that one. Okay,
you were being respectful.
I was being respectful. I didn't want to, and I didn't grab Lanfear sleeping with Moiraine either because I felt like that we don't need to break this.
So I think we're at 15 and a half, 16 rands.
15 and a half or 16 rands.
Yep. Okay.
Definitely 15 and a half or 16 rands. Yep. That's pretty poignant.
It's a lot of rands.
Pretty poignant. I love that he's carrying her out.
He is alive. We saw her eyes open, so we know that she is still with us at this point.
Yeah, she is not dead yet. If she dies in this season.
If she dies, maybe because this was the scene where it looked like she was
where everyone was like, is she going to die? Yeah.
It's a good one.
God.
We're not great going episode. Anywhere but into Rhuidean. It
was, like I said, a super dense but also very light episode in that very few characters, though lots of characters at the same time. Yosha is a Russian nesting doll of characters in the and just keep different. Okay, there's more. Every time we think we're done with him, there's more. Oh man, so good, so good. And every single episode is like getting better and better and better. And I'm like, wow, how are they going to top this one? How are they going to top this one? They did it again. Like, it's just so good. And really, people that are just like, I hate it so bad, you have to be lying to yourself at this point. Like, I'm really trying not to like something here, and like there's very little nitpicking that I can do to try to, like, I'm trying to find things I don't like, just so it's not like I'm showering love over it the entire time, but it's hard not to. Wonderful. Speaking of showering, please shower some love over our channel if you're enjoying our content and our nonsense. Let us know what you think of our crazy theories. If you want us to shut up, if you think any of our ideas are bad, good, whatever, let us know. And if you are enjoying it though, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, share this with your friends and family. We are good for the whole family. We're good for all ages, except for, people that don't like cursing, because I can't stop myself. It's very hard.
It is. It's
very hard. I love all of you awesome nerds. Make sure to go and check out Dragonmount.com and really just spread the love around. Go look at all of the Wheel of Time content creators. There are so many good people in this community that are making content right now, and it is just fantastic for anyone who's coming to the community now. And I love that this show is expanding our community in great new ways. Thank you to all of you guys for doing that. I love all of you awesome nerds, and we will see you next time on the slopes of Dragonmount. Peace.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And as always, subscribe, give us a like, a thumbs up, leave us a positive comment. And if you have any friends that enjoy the Wheel of Time, send them over some of our links. I'm sure they'd love to see some new information. Also, a huge thank you to our sponsor, Tor Books, as well as our fantabulous Patreon community. If you are wanting to know more about how this show is made or some other Wheel of Time insights, join our Patreon. You can get some more information, as well as follow Dragonmount on social media. Until next time, we are the Wheel of Time Community Show. Thank you. Goodbye.